Hi, God bless. So one thing that I wanted to talk about that I haven't talked about yet on this channel is Suboxone. All right, so basically, I wrote down some notes and I'm just looking at them. I believe the first time that I was prescribed it was in 2010, and the last time that I took it was in 2021, so 11 years about. Um, Suboxone is buprenorphine, and naloxone. I happen to be on the 8 milligram over 2 milligram film. I was on the pill first, and then something happened in California, and they were no longer prescribing the pill form of Suboxone. Um, I believe there was a death of a baby, so they began making it film inside of a foil, like inside of a little, very thin metal um, envelope type thing that you have to rip open. The dimensions of Suboxone are 22.0 millimeter by 12.8 millimeter. So I drew a little thing, but I didn't measure this out. I just drew it by sight, like what I remember it to be. And I think I'm kind of off, but it's basically this size. So that just goes to show you how small the film is, how strong it is. If you know anything about it, it is a medication that was intended, I think, I could be wrong, but the intent for my prescription of it was to get me off of basically uh, very heavy pain pills, heroin, and just a bunch of opiates. And I was prescribed it for a very long time. I did abuse it, so I'm not proud of that, and that probably set me back a long, long way because it is highly addictive. Very, very addictive. Like if you take a half a film extra right now, you're going to have to take a half a film extra tomorrow because it's going to be really difficult. You're going to feel a little bit of the feeling of withdrawals. So, at least in my case, so I'm sharing it in case anybody else wants to know what it feels like, whatever, anything that I say hopefully will be helpful to somebody. Um, so let me see. I got a few questions. Type of addiction being treated: heroin, oxycodone, for example. So basically, I just said, yeah, it was on heroin. I never slammed it. It would just be mixed up and inserted into the back of my nose. And then I would just lay there and let it work. Most people say that's a waste, but I think that it saved my life. Um, Circumstances that led me to seek medication assisted treatment. Circumstances that led me to seek medication assisted treatment was that I could not handle the withdrawal for the life of me. I thought that I was going to die. If I would have known that once I got over the hump of 7 days I was going to be fine, I might have made it, but I could never make it that long. I literally, honestly thought that I was going to die when I was having my withdrawals. And I don't know if that's like something that is factual, that we can die, but the feeling of being scared that it's going to kill me or that I'm going to die, oh my God, no, I don't like that, either one. But, so circumstances that led me to seek medication assisted treatment were that I just could not get off of these pills and heroin. it was almost like I just had to have an opiate in my system, or I was having withdrawals, and it didn't matter what it was. Sometimes even codeine would help with the withdrawals, but not all the way. Initial expectations versus the reality of taking Suboxone. Initial expectations were that it was going to just magically like make me not want to crave or make me not want another opiate ever again in my life, and I was only going to have to take one pill and I was going to be cured. But I was wrong because I was prescribed it for 11 years. It's not a medication that is suggested to be on for a long period of time, from what I hear. I've also heard that anybody who's been on it, there's like a lawsuit or something like that going on legally, because the sublingual films have caused people to have mouth issues like tooth decay, and I think I don't want to speak out of line, but just issues with the mouth. You can look it up for yourself. But it doesn't surprise me because the films would leave a taste in my mouth for like the rest of the day, and it just felt like I had a film left out over my whole mouth, kind of thing, for a long time after. And you're not supposed to drink anything, but man, I would down some Gatorade, orange Gatorade, because the film actually tastes like orange gasoline. I don't know why I think that, but it's not like I've gone around tasting gasoline. But the way I'm wired, if I smell something, I can taste it. So when I smell gasoline, it tastes spicy to me. So spicy with a little hint of gasoline. I don't know. But Suboxone tastes like that with orange, like a very fake tasting orange. So I don't know what I was talking about. I guess I was talking about the taste of it. The tooth decay and all of that. So withdrawal symptoms. I want to talk about withdrawal symptoms before I go back to these questions. I felt personally lethargic, nauseous. I vomited, I had diarrhea, constipation, both in the same day, diarrhea and throwing up at the same time, crying and throwing up, always, yes, and rocking myself like a crazy person because I wanted to jump out of my skin and I couldn't sit still. Nothing that I did gave me comfort. It was what I envision a level of hell to feel like, because I was hot, sweaty, had goosebumps, then I'd have the chills and this weird stuff. Fingertips would be cold. Somebody described a withdrawal before like a very bad flu. I don't know who those people were. They must have been Superman or Superwoman, but not for me. I had achy bones, achy back, achy joints, achy muscles. Felt like my eyeballs hurt. Everything in my body hurt me. I mean, my teeth hurt me. I'm a grinder, so that doesn't surprise me, but everything hurt me. I cried a lot of the time. I prayed almost all of the time. The reason I say almost is because the other part of it, I was either singing worship music on a AA meeting or trying to do something productive like a Bible study or a walk or a run. I did other things, cook when I could. For the first couple of days, I couldn't eat when I was coming off of Suboxone. Okay, so with Suboxone, the kick or the withdrawal, let's rewind. getting off of Suboxone for me, I had to take that film that is 22.0 millimeters by 12.8 millimeters, and I had to cut it in half. And I had to take that half for a while and kind of get my body used to not taking a full 8 milligram film. So, in essence, I was taking 4 milligrams at that point. And once I was able to do that, and I realized that I think there was a part of me that realized that I was feeling high still. So once I felt like I wasn't feeling that anymore, I would reduce it. So there was no rhyme or reason to the way that I did this, but I broke that in half again. So if you have the film, I broke it in half. Then I took that half and I broke that in half. So I had a fourth of it for probably about a year. And I don't know the rest of it, but I do know that I measured it with a measuring tape, and 1/8 of an inch is what I was cutting off of the film when I finally decided to stop taking it. And that was something that ultimately stopped working as well. I guess over time my body was building tolerance because it is so addicting. But I remember I was on the phone with a friend and I said, this Suboxone isn't working right now. It's not taking away the withdrawals. I could feel that it was working in my system. I could feel that it was in my system. There's just a knowing when you're on Suboxone, you know. So when I told my friend that there was no point to taking the Suboxone anymore because it's not working, I said, what's the point? If it's not going to make me feel any better and get rid of the withdrawals while I'm taking it, then why take it? So I made a firm decision that I wasn't going to take it anymore. And that was on March 3rd, 2021. March 4th is my sobriety date of 2021. And I was at a friend's house and she was allowing me to detox there because I was homeless. And back to the tapering that I was doing. So I got down to an 1/8, a piece that was the size of an 1/8. And I did that probably for another year. It was a while. Again, I did this slow and there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just did it as I listened to my body. And I didn't lie to myself and allow myself to take more than I wanted or more than I was supposed to, because it does get you high. Anybody who's on it who says that it doesn't get you high is a damn lie, because that's the reason why we take more than what we're supposed to take. At least I took more than what I was supposed to take, and I know other people did. I know other people that actually could melt them down and slam them. So I'm still learning a lot about this stuff. But again, Suboxone is made with buprenorphine and naloxone. One of them is, I forget, one of them is the main medication. The other one is a blocker. So, meaning if you have the Suboxone in your system and you try to put an opiate or an opioid into your system, you're going to instantly go into a withdrawal. They were sublingual films, so they would go underneath your tongue in the front or in the cheek, the buccal of your cheek. Yeah, the withdrawal symptoms, those were unreal. I've kicked Roxy's, I've kicked heroin, I've kicked Vicodin and Norco. Most of them, a couple of them a few times, and most of those in county jail, so I had nothing for help. And those were terrible, especially Roxy's. Roxy's were worse than heroin for me. But Suboxone is a whole nother beast. It isn't the same thing. It was way worse. I mean, somebody saying that it was like a cold that was really bad. Yeah, okay, maybe it was to a certain degree, but it's like to the 10th power. I mean, runny nose, mucus, eyes watering. Well, not to mention you're crying because everything hurts. Your bones, your joints, your muscles. Feel like your skin hurts. Your skin's crawling. You're hot, cold, chills, sweats. Feel like you're going crazy. Feel like you want to jump out of your skin or run a million miles, but at the same time you can't even get up. Feels like you have a weighted blanket on you that's not giving you comfort but making you very irritable and agitated and hypersensitive to every single thing around you, and it's horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and I wish that this video, I pray that this video can help somebody to realize that this isn't a medication for you. So a couple of the questions that I'll answer again on this thing. It says initial expectations versus the reality of taking Suboxone. My initial expectations were that it was going to be like one and done, but unfortunately it took about 11 years and a lot. Another thing I know about Suboxone is that I was going through my old paperwork, and yeah, I still had boxes, and the leaflets say that the amount that is supposed to be taken a day is only one. These doctors are out here prescribing 1, 2, 3, 4 a day. It's ridiculous. So nobody's paying attention to these leaflets anymore. Let's see. So with the withdrawal, it lasts about 7 days of really, really brutal withdrawal. About 2 weeks of like really challenging, like still trying to get your energy, feeling fatigued, like you can't get up, not really wanting to get up, not really wanting to be alive actually because it feels so awful. Not being able to eat, not even wanting to eat at that point for the first 2 or 3 days. You don't even really want to eat. Then like the 3rd or 4th day you want to eat but you can't, so you think that you have this huge appetite and you have all this food, and all of a sudden it's like 2 bites in and you feel like you're gonna vomit. You know, nothing looks good, nothing sounds good, nothing feels good at all. There's nothing good about it. And I didn't feel normal until about 8.5 months after kicking it cold turkey. That's just too much of my life. Like, I thought to have withdrawals or kick for 7 days was a lot for opiates, but to have it be 8 months, 8.5 months, I mean, my sleep is still not right. There's a lot of things that still aren't right because of Suboxone. I know it, but I can't prove it. So I just have to put a video out like this and hope that there's others that are like me and that have been on this and had very negative experience with it. Yeah, did it serve its purpose? Yeah, it did. You know, it helped me to transition from really, really brutal drugs, but in hindsight, all I did was prolong the inevitable, and in the end made it way worse. So I think that's all I have for now. Yeah. So God bless and shalom.